Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lost in the Real. This is your host, Sean,
Your co-host, Morgan.
and today we are doing an in-depth spoiler exploration of the film Promising Young Woman and also giving you our thoughts on the ending. Promising Young Woman is available now for you to own. So if you haven't seen it, please click up here and check out our non-spoiler review. After you've seen it, come back here and let's have a great conversation about what we think of this film. So Morgan, what did you think?
I think this was a very intense revenge film, but it wasn't the stereotypical revenge film where it's like violence and gore. And we're tricked in the beginning when she's playing drunk in the bar and she takes Adam Brody home and then she flips the switch and is like, "What are you doing?" And then it cuts to her walking and it's the slow zoom of like blood on her ankle. And then she's just eating a hot dog. And I think that it gives us a hint of like what kind of film this is going to be and who she is as a character, like non-violent, but just as deadly in a way.
And
What about you?
I love that you brought that up because I've watched it twice now and you've seen it twice as well, right?
Hmm.
So when I started watching it for the first time, I didn't even notice the hot dog. I thought that it was blood, so I thought this was a movie about her, like, going out and killing a bunch of people. And then you realize she's not a violent person at all, like you said. She's just putting these men in their place.
Yes, which I love because and then she has the notebook and she's like scratching it out with the red and blue, which I love in this film. You see throughout the contrast colors of the bold red and blue pastel pinks, all kind of explaining a bit more about it. If that makes sense. But yeah, and you're like, is she killing them? Like, no, she's just like ruining them with her words. Like, it's just great.
And I think that makes this movie super effective too, that she's not just this vigilante that's going out and killing people. She's really putting them in their place and making them feel this kind of uneasy pain, like inflicting that upon them rather than actual physical pain.
Yes, right? I think that's very interesting.
Mhm.
Really, there's only just at the end is where we see violence kind of for the first time in the film, you know?
Absolutely.
So interesting.
So I want to kind of get started on that when she first kind of is triggered when she finds out that Al is back in town and it kind of starts her on this path of revenge against the people that were involved with Nina's rape.
Hmm.
Uh, First person that she kind of contacts is her old friend. I kind of got the idea that the three of them were great friends in college, right?
Yes, same.
So she meets up with her, kind of gets her drunk, and then Madison starts talking like, oh, she was asking for it, she's always getting drunk and whatnot. All the meanwhile, Carrie Mulligan's character Cassie is getting Madison drunk. What did you think of that?
I thought that scene was very telling of who Madison was. It's the first time we have any idea who
Mhm.
she is and when we get to meet her and just get her whole character in one scene. And I love how with the writing you see her complain about Nina, claiming that she got drunk. It was her fault essentially. She cried wolf, like blah blah blah. These are all the reasons why she's at fault. Nina's at fault, and the whole time she herself is becoming the same vulnerable woman being drunk in public, going to be left by herself, which Carrie Mulligan does. And then you don't know exactly who Cassie is as a person still. Like we know she was nonviolent with Adam Brody's character, but like she leaves the key and cash with that strange man at the bar and says like that's the woman, take her home. So we just like we don't know if something violent and act of aggression is going to happen. But that was a great. I love that scene. What did you think?
I definitely loved it too. And I think it's really interesting because that's when Madison calls Cassie and keeps calling her and trying to contact her because she doesn't know if she did something bad with the guy. It
Mm-hmm.
feeling, and this is, I think, what we're going to continue talking about, is Cassie is trying to make others feel the way that Nina felt in the situations. Like what they did to Nina, Cassie's now making them feel that way. And so
Yes.
in this situation, she's getting drunk and then she doesn't know if she did anything with that guy at the counter. So now she feels this like she's scared because she doesn't know if she did something with him and she's trying to figure it out, and Cassie won't talk to her about it or, call her back. So she's making her feel the way that Nina did.
Oh, totally. I love that. That's the revenge. It's very quiet and subtle revenge throughout the film, non-violent. And then the next being Connie Bryton, who played a part in Nina's tragedy. The school dean, I guess, is her character.
Yes.
That was so wonderful. One of my favorite scenes of revenge. And like it all just takes place in an office again. The beauty of this is like you're just having like drunk brunch with your friend. Oh, you're just visiting an old dean. Oh, what did you think?
So with the dean, I think it's interesting because in that regard, she's kind of making the dean feel how Nina's mom felt when Nina had that happen to her. And, it was like this girl, this drunk girl at a party, and the dean didn't do anything about it. So in this case, Cassie's going to the dean. She kidnaps the daughter or whatever and put her in the hands of older men with alcohol, and she's now making the dean feel the way that Nina's mom might have felt.
Well, totally. Or even like Nina's mom, but also everything that the dean said to Cassie now returning, claiming she wants to be a medical doctor again. She said, "Oh, we get these accusations all the time. I'm sorry, I don't remember your friends. Like, um, we never know what's true. It's a he said, she said kind of thing." But the second her daughter's life was possibly in the exact same situation as Nina's, she was like, "All that's out the window." So it just shows that she doesn't even believe it herself. So that was just great. Oh, so good.
It was, absolutely. And then we get her third victim, and I think this one is the most interesting because I do believe that she was going to go in there and have this guy, like she hired a guy to come mess the guy up pretty badly, the lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
And instead, she sees that with the lawyer, he's already repented. He already feels the pain, and he regrets everything that he did in relation to all of these cases that he took and all of the money that he got by letting these guys go free who have done these awful things to women. But she sees that he's already repented for his sins, so she just walks away.
Totally, which shows that she's merciful and really like revenge is a point, but like not to the point of people who are truly remorseful. Madison was not, and then that's why she says, "For your sake, I was hoping you would feel differently," and she followed through with her plan. Um, so good. I love what a quick Molina scene,
Mhm.
but so powerful.
Exactly. It's very quick, but it's effective in the storytelling. And I think it's interesting that right after she goes to the lawyer, she then goes and sees Nina's mom. And then it's almost like she's seen someone has repented and remembers Nina and what happened to her. And then she goes to the mom and talks to the mom about what happened. And her mom's like, just let it go. We've all moved on. So then all of a sudden the movie kind of shifts and you get her kind of, breaking down those walls that she's built up and kind of letting herself open up to happiness. And, she even kisses Bo Burnham's character, and that shows she's kind of breaking down those barriers and moving on.
Oh, totally. I mean, just her throwing away the tally notebook of her victims. Also, cool one shot. Get it, Carrie. Like all basket. Sorry. But you can see her like she was like, you know what? I'm sorry. I loved it. I watched it again and I was like, nice. um, but you're right now, and she's like finally starting to heal, and she begins to start kind of alive with Bo and starting to feel real joy outside of Nina's revenge or her revenge for Nina. You know?
Mhm. And
Yeah,
then Max comes and screws it all up with that phone. And I really thought that that moment is when Cassie's walls that she had broken down, they come right back up. And then she realizes that she's never going to be able to move on because she let herself open up to somebody and he was even a part of the tragedy that happened to Nina. So I
oh,
think that's
totally.
when it's all downhill from there.
Oh, straight up, like uh, just the scene of her watching the video. I think she's on her knees at the coffee table, and just like her reaction. And then the next scene is her kind of walking in a daze in that kind of grassy field, and that song I think is out of as foreshadowing to what's going to happen next. So wonderful, yeah.
And then we
Oh.
get her fourth victim, which I look at it as Al is her fourth victim.
Mhm.
And so he kills her, and I was horrified by that. I was like, where is this movie going? What did you think of that?
I was so disappointed that she didn't even get a scalpel cut in. Um, but also amazing. I consider it kind of a two birds, one stone. It's Joe and Al at the same time, just because maybe she knew that because Joe videotaped Nina being raped, that he'd be a part of this cover up. I do think that she, in a way, knew that she was gonna die. Again, the foreshadowing of the song, the two girls flying away, whatever. But so great.
I definitely think that she went into that cabin knowing that she was not going to live.
Hmm.
And that was part of her plan.
Totally.
And I think that you're right that that fourth strike is a two birds with one stone situation with Joe and Al, because even though Al is the one that did the act, Joe is the enabler in this situation, and he is just as culpable for it as Al was.
Oh, totally. And then that's a recurring theme, I think, in this movie or this film, how even the women, the dean, Connie Bryden, and Alison Brie's character, Madison, both put fault on Nina for being drunk, for being alone, etc. All the reasons being her, like, just at fault completely for her rape, while Joe comes in and immediately defends Al for murdering the stripper, which he doesn't know anything else. And Al
Exactly.
doesn't deny
Oh,
it.
innocent. You're innocent. It's like,
You're
no.
innocent. Exactly, but it just kind of shows like that mentality already. So I loved that part of it. Ah, so good, and just it was great. I was still disappointed she didn't get a cut in, but like the ultimate ending of the delayed messages and all the dominoes falling after that.
To me, strike five is Bo Burnham's character because, first of all, she can't stand him now because all of her trust is gone because he was a part of the situation. But
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that the strike five is the fact that he is going to have to live with everything that he's done and his actions. And that's why he's strike five, the pain that he's going to have to live through, knowing that he was a part of the murder of her and he knew that she was going to the cabin. He could have stopped her from going. He could have done something, but he let her go. And it's also the fact that and I think this is kind of a theme throughout the film as well, is this self-made ignorance that these people have made for themselves, and basically to forget what happened, to just let it go, because they don't want to deal with the repercussions of them being a part of this horrible tragedy. They just want to move on. And I think that strike five is for him. He has to live with that self made ignorance, and he has to live with the fact that he was a part of the death of someone that he did love.
I agree. I'm almost kind of leaning more towards like he loses his practicing license as a doctor because maybe the video comes to light too of the rape, which was sent to the lawyer, and so then maybe they'll tie in whoever else was there and didn't stop it. So I was hoping more of that. I don't know if he feels that much guilt, honestly. I think he did love Cassie, but I I don't think
Hmm.
it was as much guilt as you think he'd be living with.
I don't know. Maybe that's how I just want to see it as because I'd like to see him live with that guilt. But that's interesting. Once again, this movie, like no matter what, I think everyone is going to have different, opinions about what really did happen at the end.
Just because it's Emerald Fennel, and this is like kind of what I've learned through watching Killing Eve, is that everything has a purpose and everything has a beautiful kind of almost symbolism meaning. But I noticed that like there's a lamp almost always in every scene, which I would hope was kind of a play at like sexy lamp test. Have you heard of this?
Mm-mm.
Where it's a test where like are women central to the character? Like do they is their character developing the plot? Do they have a purpose, or are they just a sexy lamp, which is seen in a lot of films? Guy Ritchie. Um, so I think that was a very feminist little touch there. And then when I noticed again, when she's going to kidnap the dean's daughter at the high school, the school was Santa Lucia. And again, knowing from Killing Eve, everything has a purpose. And that wide shot, I researched Santa Lucia, and she was a woman, virgin martyr, who died. And um, she was also kind of a lot of images are her with a lamp, and she was burned but didn't die. And it's funny that Cassie, her body was burned, but even after death, she sent those messages out and the plan played out. So it wasn't like she super died. I don't know. I hope that was on purpose and there was some meaning behind those things.
I mean, I'm sure there is. I didn't know any of that. See, I love when we get to talk about this kind of stuff because
I know, me too.
details to movies that we miss as viewers.
Yeah. So that was it. I wanted to see if you kind of saw that too, or like, but the
No.
sexy lamp.
Sexy lamp. There we go.
Okay, so that's it. There you go.
Uh, Thank you so much, guys, for watching Lost in the Reel. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you liked it. And also comment down below. Let us know what your thoughts on the ending of Promising Young Woman was. And we would love to get a conversation started because there are so many intricate details in this film. We would love for you to point them out if we've missed any and just get conversation going. So thank you so much, guys, and take care.